Hola, pues hoy estamos con un invitado muy especial, Tulku Rinpoche. Él nació en 1985 en el sur de India en una familia de exiliados de Tibet. Cuando tenía 17 años fue reconocido por su santidad Sakya Trengsin como un maestro importante en la escuela Sakya del budismo tibetano. Estudió por 11 años en el Instituto Sangha Khyentse Chokilodro en los Himalayas, India, graduándose con éxito y recibiendo el título de Acharyo Maestro. Actualmente es un practicante laico que vive con su familia en Alemania, en Arya Tara Dharma Center. Sus enseñanzas se caracterizan por ser interactivas, poco convencionales y con sentido del humor. Tulku Rinpoche, thank you so much for being here with us in Congreso Conciencia y Salud.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Nice to be here.
Thank you. We are going to talk today about a very important subject, which is how can we find peace? How can we connect with our peace beyond our external circumstances? Because usually our happiness, we have it dependent on what's happening outside. And now that so many things of the world had like fallen, or so many things we took for granted, then it's like, where do we find peace? What is peace to start with?
Yes, you said it right. That's a very big topic, you know, and of course, I can only speak through, you know, the way I've been trained in Buddhist philosophy and logic and so on. So, if I'm to say what is peace for me, is I would say that peace is the presence of contentment. Actually, you know, it's not just the absence of aggression. It's not just silence. Silence is silence. Silence is not peace, you know. And I think when you are completely comfortable in your skin, you know, that you just, when you are, you know, whatever you are doing, whoever you are, you know, nothing to, when you're not trying to prove anything to anybody, I don't know, just simply existing, you know, without harming anyone. I would say, yeah, that's a good idea of peace, you know. I don't know if it works.
Yeah, I think the word contentment can really express it, but it's difficult because in this like modern world, we are somehow educated, trained, gone to school, like pushed. So we have to achieve more and more and more and generate more economy and have this and go here and do this and do that. So it's almost like we don't know how to be with ourselves. And right now, when so many of these things that we were chasing suddenly are gone, then we are left feeling like a lot of anxiety. You know, where do we find this contentment? How do we start connecting with this?
Again, you asked a very, very vast question. And in a way, it's not fair that, you know, we have like only 1 hour. It's true that what you just described is how the Buddhists describe as all-pervasive suffering, you know. Well, how to reach inner peace? I did jot down some thoughts. Our teacher, Dongsa Khyentse Rinpoche, he says, actually, that is the most easiest thing to do. Of course, we may not believe it, because, because for us, we are so used to so many mundane things to run after things, to get more. We're always worried about tomorrow, what will happen next and next and next, always engaged in this way. But these teachers, they say, actually, what is really difficult is all these games that we play. What is really difficult is to be deluded. What is really difficult is to be discontent, to be ungrateful and inconsiderate. Actually, that's difficult because it takes a big chunk of your part to do these things. It takes a lot of energy, and it has results. It has ripples that really, it's not like you do something bad to the environment or to yourself or to people around you, and nothing will happen to you. It's not like that. It always comes around, and it's always painful. Finding peace within oneself, that is sort of guaranteed never to betray us, and somehow something very stable. So how do we get there, you say? Well, all the teachings of Buddha, we have hundreds and hundreds of volumes of teaching is about this, actually, how to be content, how to reach to that state. If I have to boil it down to one word, I would say honesty. Utter honesty. Honesty, not something that is taught to us by society. Like say this, talk like this, do like, not that. Honesty, in a sense that you watch what is happening with you, your body, your mind around you, and you actually react according to that, rather than running after your feelings. And I don't know, what do you think? That was a very long answer, or?
It's perfect, Rinpoche. So what we usually do is we run around our emotions, chasing our desires, instead of really looking what's happening in us.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we run after things, the farther away we go away from our inner peace, because we're like disconnected from ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, looking within ourselves. So the topic is finding a type of peace or stability within ourselves that outside phenomena cannot destroy, right? Something like that, I believe. So obviously we have to look inside. We're talking about a peace inside. And when we look inside, like you said in the beginning, we run after a lot of things, and then we try to achieve something for so long, and we spend our whole life, but then at the end of the day, we find out that it's not there anymore. It has changed, and it's such a big disappointment, right? The question is, why do we do that? Why do we chase these things? Peace cannot arise as long as there is something that is blocking it. So what is blocking peace here within myself, for example, is this discontentment. I'm not content. I am not. No, I don't know why. No one knows why. I just have to do something all the time. You understand? Even when I'm not doing anything, it is a thing that I do. You know, I tell myself I'm not going to do anything. And then again, it's something that I'm doing now. So then there is this type of restlessness, discontentment, this constant need to be in movement. You know, we have to figure it out. Why is it happening? And most importantly, of all the type of restlessness within us, there is a type of restlessness, discontentment, that is really, really ruling our life, you know, and that is looking for recognition. We always look for recognition. You know, well, in very simple words, we have this hunger within us, this constant need to impress others or to be understood, you know, to be heard, to be reacted to. I don't know. So this is what the teachers say that, and this is what we find when we look into ourselves, you know. But of course, we never give ourselves the opportunity, you know. Only when something goes wrong in our life, we have this sort of a spark of realization of what's happening. That all the things I've been doing actually not that meaningful, you know. but again, you know, it's not strong enough. And then, you know, there's so many things to do, you know, and you get distracted again. You want me to go on? Or
No, I think it's true. No, we go chasing all these things because we kind of cannot really be still. But then, by chasing all these things, we end up like entangled with them and lose our peace and start suffering because exactly of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So how can we find peace? How can we connect with our peace? How can we recognize our peace?
Again, you know, you cannot have the result without cultivating the cause, right? So the cause here is we have to remove this discontentment. And this is very easy to see, actually. You might think, oh, I'm content with my life, you know. I don't try to impress anybody. Many people like to say that, you know. They try to be rebellious and say, you know, wear, I don't know, everything dark and dark lipstick and everything. I see some young people here doing that. And, you know, I'm sorry, I don't want to, you know, but you know, I'm a country pumpkin, you know, so Himalayan man, so I don't know these things. So we like to say, I'm rebellious and all that, but, you know, we should really look at ourselves, especially when we are in a party, for example, you know. And there are some people we want to impress, and there's some people we want to ignore. And then the way you talk, the way you sort of sit, you know, like, and then you're holding your drinks, like, I'm sure when you're drinking alone in your home, you don't hold it like that, but in front of others, you know, there's a certain way, and you like, you know, like, it's really like a show, and it's really interesting, and it is sad. It's so much energy, so much of our time, and it's every day, you know. I don't know. It's really, yeah. And then even when you're not doing anything, when you go to a restaurant, let's say, and there's just the reception, the cashier person there, and there's nobody in the restaurant, just you and one or two waiters, and you feel so uncomfortable. Why? Why do you feel uncomfortable? You know, because you feel the pressure of having to do something now. You know, you just cannot relax. You just cannot be yourself. So this, and I think until we recognize the meaninglessness of recognition of others, we will always look for it. Always look for it. And yeah.
But what about like now, for example, that we are in our house? No, right now people are living in our house. We are in quarantine. It seems we are maybe starting to go out of it little by little, but we've been spending a lot of time by ourselves. And still, it seems that we have even less peace once we are alone with ourselves.
Yes. First of all, we don't know what to do with ourselves anymore now, because our life is now basically the whole life is a display now. You know, something happens to you, you have to tell the world. You make a nice cake, the world has to know. You know, it's like, I don't know. You know, everything. I don't know. Someone draws a tail of an elephant, and then everyone has to know. You know. So of course, you know, we don't know what to do with ourselves anymore. We don't know how to be with our natural elements. You know, actually, there's so much happening. You're breathing, your heart is beating. You know, it's unimaginable. Every part of our body has a function. The skin has a function. Hair has a function. Nails, right? I mean, you guys know. You know, it's unimaginable. It's just this huge, wonderful gathering of organs that work by itself and with together. And nobody can create such a thing till now. No one, you are something that no one can create. You are something unique. There has never been you before, you know, whatever you are. For example, you, Regina Marco, there's never been a Regina Marco, which is you before, there'll never be again, you know, and that's unique. And all this is lost because we look somewhere else, I think, you know. So like I said, when you said, and it doesn't matter whether you are at home or you are outside, until and unless we don't see the futility of this type of hunger, you know, like you know, it's we will always look for it. It doesn't matter. Even when you're alone, I find this with myself. Even when I'm walking alone, sometimes I feel like there are some eyes watching me. You know, I don't know. And then I walk very strange. You know, like it's a very strange thing. I'm trying to figure myself out.
So it is a type of restlessness. It is like a kind of restlessness that is within us, basically, all the time. And then we try to like chase something, thinking that if we achieve that, then we will be happy and in peace. And then it's like two options, no? Either you achieve that or you don't. If you don't achieve that, you think you're unhappy because you couldn't achieve that. And that's if you're lucky. Because if you achieve it, sometimes it's worse. Because then you find you're still unhappy and you're still lacking peace.
Yeah.
So you just have another desire and another thing to chase. but the satisfaction it gave you was very, very short before you start feeling again this restlessness. And that's how we go living.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad. In a way, it's sad. In a way, it's like a secret that is not hidden, yet nobody sees it because it's not hidden. It's amazing our hunger and thirst for recognition. I was listening to this one very famous speaker. He's an American guy, and he's very famous. So sometimes when he talks, there's 15,000, 20,000 people there. And he's a comedian, by the way. He's a very insightful guy. And he said, I just bring it out shortly. He said, because people were telling him, wow, you filled a 15,000, stadium with full of people. He said, yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because when you say something, and if there is 15,000 people, there's at least like 1,000 people who's not happy with what you're saying, and all the rest of 14,000 people are laughing, but you see only those who are not laughing, who are not happy. And that's amazing, right? Logically, you should think, oh, so more people, are happy about it. More people are happy with me. I should be happy. And this small fraction of people is unhappy. I should just ignore it. But you cannot. Even if millions of you are loved and liked by millions of people, and then there is some few hundreds or thousands of people that really dislike you, and your attention goes right there. So peace cannot happen. Of course, then to go back, we have to learn how to just be with ourselves. We have to learn how to function without an agenda, without trying to get any result. And it's, of course, it's something new for us, But once you do that, you might find a world of sort of contentment. You might find so many new possibilities to be than how you've been till now.
Yeah, that's so true. When you create like this space arises where you can just be, like for an instant. Sometimes, like, I don't know, when I do yoga, or I give a yoga class, or I do a meditation, and then it's just one instant where you're just present. You're not chasing anything, you're not running, and you just feel this like openness and connection, and like a slight relaxation, not like a relaxation of being in a hammock, just like slight relaxation. And that's where I can connect with some peace, or with the garden, just in very simple things.
Yeah. And for that, I don't know, you can do traditional meditation, like actually sit and try to watch your mind, or you just watch your mind. It's there all the time.
But if watching your mind giving you peace, I mean, if I watch my mind, it's like, whoa, what a
mess. Yeah, I can understand that. Now, of course, that's the first step. Just watching your mind is not enough. If something is going wrong, let's just say in the kitchen, first you have to find out what's happening. Maybe there's some rats running around or something. You have to look at there first. Then you can do something about it. So, yeah, maybe you're not really that hungry for recognition, but you are so distracted. Maybe you never know. There's so many different people. I don't know. It's just we can only find out what we are made of by looking into our own mind. That's the only way. And of course, you can do it in a very sort of proper manner by sitting straight and wonderful. Or you could just, while it's happening, while it's happening, watch it. And then you know what to do, you know what to get rid of. Because honestly, you begin to realize, first thing is actually what happens when you watch your mind. You begin to realize how much time you're wasting. It's like at least when you go to bed, before you fall asleep, just think about what you did the whole day, how meaningful that was. And what was you thinking the whole day? And it's just like so much energy, so much time. It's like a sand that's slipping from your fingers, then I think you begin to move in the right direction, because then you feel some sort of pain there.
I think that right now with this quarantine, so many people have started to notice exactly that pain, because we were going so fast with our lives. We were so distracted, running here, running there, so that we couldn't really see ourselves. And then suddenly it's like, bam, we had to stop, go everybody into our own house and start dealing with our emotions that were enhanced by fear and uncertainty. And we couldn't run away to restaurants or shopping or seeing friends or drinking or whatever. Well, drinking maybe they could in their own house. But all these emotions we've been running away that we were not seeing, suddenly we were like, wow, what's happening? All these things I'm feeling, all these things I'm thinking. So I think during the last weeks, many of us, we've been realizing like how tough or how disturbed our mind and emotions actually are.
Yes, I think after we have watched all the Netflix videos and after we have, drank all the beer and wine, then we begin to realize. But and that's really good. That's really good. That's what I say, because I also noticed that more people are listening to. I mean, as a Buddhist, more people are listening to Buddhist talks these days, especially these days. So many Buddhist teachers are now being asked to do like online long courses, short courses, and I think in a way it's a really good time right now. Sad, of course, in those who get sick, those who die. That's horrible. That's horrible indeed. But such is the sad state of our existence, that good thing and bad thing usually come together. And then, good things you hear, like less pollution and all that. And inside, you notice more. And I think if you will really give yourself time, you may really notice that actually what's really important in my life, what's the basic fundamental importance is food, medicine, clothes, house. Really. Many of the things that I thought I must have, I must have it, not that important. I mean, more than 300,000 people have died in last 2 or 3 months. I'm sure they all must have had a lot of plans. They never thought that this is the last month or last day for them. I think in a way it's really good that we're realizing that there is so much inside us, and before we may have thought, I'm unhappy because he did this, she said that, but now you're alone and you're still unhappy. So you may realize that actually your unhappiness is mainly caused by your attitude, your mind. And this, yeah.
I mean, and that what you just said, that our unhappiness is caused by our own mind. In a way, it's really bad news. Like it's like sad, no? You need to be like very brave and courageous to see that and recognize it and accept it. But on the other hand, it's also good news, because if our unhappiness is caused by our own mind and not by external circumstances, it means we actually can do something about it.
That's true. That's true. Actually, I think I'm becoming very, I'm speaking in a very traditional term now, manner now, but actually all we really know is our mind. All the rest is through inference. We know through inferences, and of course scientifically true. They say, for example, there's no color outside. That's what the scientists tell us, right? So, but the light hits on this surface and then it is into my eyes, then I see a color. It's actually not there. Buddhist, the teachings of Buddha is similar to that, but much more enhanced in a way that Buddha goes on to say that everything depends on your mind. Everything depends on your mind. And then, of course, your happiness and your suffering definitely depends on your mind. Of course, it may be difficult for some to hear, especially those who have been really mistreated by others, someone else, which happens. Then you may feel like, what is this guy saying? My suffering was caused by this guy, which is true. But now the suffering that we are having now, this still we remember it, still we get angry and we punish ourselves through that we are doing ourselves. And so many of these things, I think, we are moving so fast, and I see this in myself too. I move so fast in a way that my mind never stops. It needs something to think. It needs, and there's nothing to think. It thinks about nothing to think. And it's sad, it's tiring. I cannot relax, And I think we should really use this time right now to try to stop a little bit, relax a little bit, yeah.
How can we relax a little bit? Please, Rinpoche, give us a technique, give us a method, something we can grasp or apply or practice.
It could be very simple. This is what our teacher teaches us, Tulku Rinpoche. He says, just sit. Just sit. And over the years, I thought about it a lot. And I'm not a good practitioner, so I haven't really practiced it, I must admit. But I thought about it a lot, and it makes a lot of sense. You can actually look at the whole world, what's happening in the world. Not only that, what's happening in your mind as a storm of cloud, coming from east, west, north, or south. But you sit firmly rooted like a mountain. That's it. Clouds bang against you, they disperse. You just don't move. That's very simple. put your hands like this if you must, and Regina will show you how to do it. Yeah. Oh, you did very well. So sit straight and all this, backbone straight, shoulder even, your weight should be on your backbone and head a little bit tilted. And decide for the next 5 minutes, 4 minutes, no matter what happens, no matter what I think, I don't care. I just sit. That's like your first attempt. It's attempt to go against the stream of never-ending movements that's coming from all directions. But you just stand your ground. You really. So when you sit, of course you don't put force like this, that I've seen some people do that, and it's like, you're doing something. Then again, you sit in a way that there is no force exerted anywhere, but to just sit, just watch your body. You sit, tell yourself, just don't move. Just don't move. No matter what happens, don't move. All these different ideas, they are like blind, legless, handless, mouthless, earless thing. They need our mouth to speak. They use our hands to move. So decide not to lend them your organs. You just sit. Really. Then you find, there's, I don't know. That's it, like that. We should start like that. But that's just the beginning, of course. It's good.
Yes, it's a long way, but that, I think, that being like a mountain, it's this, because we are trying to find peace beyond external circumstances. So we are always moved, reacting, chasing, walking toward external circumstances. How we will ever start recognizing this unshakable strength and peace that relies upon ourselves, that is within ourselves.
Yes. Sometimes it's much better to do it, rather than understanding it completely. When you do it, then you get insight that you may not get just by thinking. It may be, I don't know. What are we talking about?
How to find peace. And I have one question, Rinpoche. Maybe this will be the last one. What about, it's two things Buddhists talk about a lot that disturbs our peace. And right now we are living very much with both of them, which is hope and fear. How does this work?
Well, let me connect it with what I said in the beginning. Hope and fear in this context comes from, hope to gain something, hope to gain something. Recognition here, hope to be smiled, hope to be noticed. It's painful when you're not noticed, you go somewhere and there's a boy or a girl or I don't know, and they just don't notice you, like you don't exist. That's painful. Oh my God. So that, these things, of course, that's just one example. There's so many things like that. Hope and fear again goes back to this wish to be important, this wish to matter. Actually you matter just by yourself. You don't have to try hard. Of course, I don't want to sound very superficial and say things like, oh, you're perfect the way you are. No, you're not perfect the way you are. None of us are, but we are unique. We are unique, and that's beautiful. And hope and fear, of course, traditionally we say, hope and fear comes from attachment and anger, right? Suffering from this. We hope to have happiness. We hope to avoid suffering, and we fear that we will not have happiness and we will meet with suffering. Traditionally like that.
Now, the last one, I promise. How can we create peace in this world?
Oh, that one. Again, it depends a lot. What level of peace are we talking about? If we are talking about external peace, where everybody is friend and everybody's like give each other lollipop and yeah, that can be done, and that's there's a way for that. And of course, some people try to bring peace through fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves, and I find them noble. Some people try to bring peace in this world through giving a lot of what they have, and I find that wonderful too. But in this context, peace within ourselves, this one, first of all, you make the world a peaceful place by not being a problem. You're not, because imagine, everybody is trying to win. How can that happen? It's not possible. There's no game where everybody can win. So only few will win and most will lose. And that's just, so when everyone is trying mindlessly to get their things done, we destroy the world, we destroy nations, we destroy everything. We're seeing it these days, So first of all, you don't do that. You take yourself out of equation, And of course, when you become like this, people automatically will start to trust you. But of course, you shouldn't be arrogant too. There's some people, some of us, like, oh, I'm so awoke, I'm so awakened, and oh, they are consumer, like that's also very stupid. And automatically, you do something that you really didn't want it to do. When you're genuine, like some teachers that I've met in my life, or some people, I know this guy in South India. I'm sorry, but I would like to talk about him just for half a minute, And what he does? He makes incense in a monastery, and he earns maybe $80 per month. He has a bicycle and he has a radio. And every morning he goes, he goes through our village in South India on his bicycle playing his radio. He's always smiling, always helpful. There's no pretense with this guy. He's just happy to work, to earn, to eat, and to help. And then I find people trust him. People want to be near him. People want to talk to him. When they feel bad, when they're in trouble, even if he cannot do much, they really feel like just being near these type of people makes them relax. It really relieves their pain. of course, that's just one example. Now imagine if you are someone in a position of really being capable of helping others, and you are like this guy, kind, very gentle. When you don't compete, you have friends everywhere. Yeah, I don't know.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Rinpoche. Please tell us, where can people find you? I mean, right down under here, they can find the links to your webpage and to your Instagram. But do you teach online? How can people continue in contact with you and learn from you?
First of all, I would like to say, if someone is interested, they thought, oh, what this guy says makes sense. Check this guy out, Dzongtsar Khyentse Rinpoche. Ask Regina, she knows very well. He's on YouTube. I have never met such a genuine person. You can. There's some YouTube video some people put, or our center put. You can go to our website, aryatara.net, and then there are some online teachings that I do sometimes. You can just subscribe. It's, that's it. I don't know. I'm really not good at this.
We'll put the links under this talk so people can click and go and see it. And we really wish, we request that once we are able to move around the world again, you can come to Mexico and we can do some not one-on-one, in-person teachings or some kind of retreat in a Mexican beach. Please, Rinpoche.
That would be nice. I like Mexican food.
And you haven't seen the beaches.
Yeah, that's true. That's very kind.
Thank you
so much. And thank you, Regina, and all of your team for actually, you could just stay at home and relax, but you want to do something, you want to reach people, deliver messages to people. That's actually quite a noble thing right now, and especially when you're trying to help the organizations that are working to feed people, right? During the corona. That's really good. That's really good. I have been poor. I have been very poor. So I know how important it is. So that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. See you again.
Okay.